Hi, this is L.Ac with bringing acupuncture mainstream, one talk at a time. Today I want to speak about acupuncture needles. Now these are you might say, the bullets that the acupuncture soldier uses in order to bring about rebalancing the body. So I want to just talk about the standard type needle today. And I want to show you first what a needle looks like. It's a very thin, this is a pretty standard needle. It's a 1-inch needle used in a variety of situations where I would use acupuncture modalities. I'm holding on to the handle, and the thin part which gets inserted to the body is called the body, and the very end is the tip that gets inserted through the skin into the tissue. These are solid. They're not meant to carry fluid or collect fluid, and they're made usually out of stainless steel, and they are sealed and meant to be used only once. So by adopting this practice in the United States, because in the past people used to use reusable needles, and they would have to go through this very complex and very thorough sterilization process. But nowadays, we are using only the sterilized and disposable needles. So once it gets inserted to a patient's body and gets removed, it goes into the biohazard waste and is never going to be used again. It's going to be recycled. Okay, so this is a 1-inch needle, and they're thinner and thinnest. I mean, there are the larger shaft, but they're still very thin. I believe one of my collegiates in Chinese medicine school had a hypodermic needle, and he put the bodies of 20 acupuncture needles inside, or maybe even more, inside a hypodermic needle, inside of it. So that gives you an idea how thin an acupuncture needle actually is. One of the smallest needles that I've used, and that's available, are these. I'm not going to take it out of the package. They're sterilized, and it's put in these packages, and they're not taken out until they're ready to be used on an individual patient. I would never unwrap these ahead of time, like 2 patients ahead. I would only take these out of its package right before I'm going to use them in that patient. So what's unique about these, they're sarin needles from Japan. They're commonly used for ear and facial acupuncture, used by thousands of these for cosmetic acupuncture. And then you have these type of needles, which are maybe 1.5 to 1 3/4 inches long. Just to give you a reference. So here's the original needle that we saw, and here's another one where you're going to have a little bit deeper tissue areas, like along the spine, especially the lower spine, where a deeper penetration is needed for the best therapeutic effects. Now you can get effects with shallow insertion, and sometimes the situation calls for a little bit deeper insertion. Now what's helpful for you to know is that acupuncture students and licensed practitioners are trained to know where and how deep a safe needle insertion is. So naturally there's going to be areas where you would not want to insert the needle very deeply, and certainly areas where you cannot insert them perpendicularly, only obliquely. And just to bring this talk to a close, because I know it's getting a little bit long, I wanted to show you these, because I love these needles. These are, I don't know, probably almost 3 inches long, and naturally you wouldn't use this on certain areas, but if you have a hip problem, these can be your best friend, because there's so much tissue around the hip. In order to get the correct therapeutic effect, you have to go down deep. And so these type of needles, sterilized, prepackaged, are available for acupuncturists to use for such conditions that affect the hip. So I hope you enjoyed this talk about acupuncture needles. This is Challen Yi with bringing acupuncture mainstream, one talk at a time. And I'll see you on the next video. Bye.